Hello, welcome you guys. Today I am, let's talk a little louder. Welcome you guys. I am excited to talk today about 3 things that I have helped me. Hello and welcome. Today we are actually going to be talking about 3 things that are going to help you to make change. And with this change, it could be in setting a goal and actually hitting it, whatever the changes you're trying to make with your. Let's try this again. Hello, guys. Welcome to today's podcast. Hello, and today, you guys, we're going to get right on into it. I'm excited to share 3 things that have helped me in order to create change in my life. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I take this all from Tony Robbins. I'm actually a huge fan of him and what he's done. And he has this concept of, it's in his life, he's shown it millions and millions of times to people that there's a process to creating change, and it's 3 steps, and it's 3 different S's. And we're going to talk about the 3 S's to change and how it applies to sales and how you can use it to becoming a better sales rep. And so we'll give some examples here. The first example we're going to talk about, so in sales, when you go out every summer, all the managers, they always talk about, setting some goals. What is your goal for coming out here? What's your why? It's a common thing to ask reps. And so if you've ever been asked that before, everyone always has these goals of, I'm going to sell 300 accounts, 500 accounts, 1,000 accounts. I've heard it all. And a lot of these are coming from reps who've never done the job before and really aren't sure what to expect. And I'm not the one to tell them that their goal is crazy or anything. But there is a cost to every goal that you're putting out there. And in order to accomplish whatever your goal is, whatever change you're trying to create in your life, so if you're just getting into door-to-door sales and you're looking to do this job to become more financially stable or in order to learn some sales skills, whatever your why for doing this, there's actually 3 things you need to understand in order to create the long-term change you're hoping to create. And so we're going to start with the least important of the 3, still important, but we're going to go up from there. And so Tony Robbins' words, he starts with this, it's strategy. The first step in order to create change in your life and to hit the goals that you're trying to set is to have a strategy for how you're going to do it. So when you hear strategy, just think in your mind, how I'm going to do it. That's what your strategy is, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. So we're going to put an example out here. I have a goal. I want to make $100,000 selling pest control this year. And if I'm in school and I'm going to work from May to August, that gives me 4 months to make $100,000. Is it possible? Absolutely. There's just some things you're going to have to do in order to hit that goal. So first thing we want to do is create a strategy. So let's say part of my strategy would be this. Every day I'm going to go out. I'm going to knock at least 8 hours every day. I'm going to be out on the doors by at least 1 o'clock, and I'm not going to be done until 9. 8 hours. I'm going to knock at least 8 hours every day. There's a strategy. You could also have another strategy of, hey, every day when I go out to work, before I go out to work, I'm going to get myself I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to go to the meetings prepared and ready. So that way, after I leave the meeting, I'm ready to get out. Different goals, different things that are easy to follow. It's a yes or no. It's usually like a check mark. Did you do it or did you not do it? Did you work 8 hours? Did you go to the meeting? Were you prepared? When you were driving to area, were you focused or were you worried? Like little things like that. These are strategy points. And then another strategy could be is I'm going to hit my goal every day. I'm going to make sure I do everything in my power to hit my goal every single day. Because obviously if you hit your goal every day, you'll hit your summer goal, which is to make it $100,000. So these are your strategy points, and super important to have strategy things. Usually you'll have several different strategies of how you're going to go about doing it. Some of them will be better than others. This is important, but it's not the most important. And the reason it's not is it misses the meat. This is all the ideas, this is the concepts, this is if everything in a perfect world were to happen, this is what you would do. Unfortunately, you don't live in a perfect world, and you're going to have a lot of complications. You're going to have a lot of battles. You're going to have a lot of internal and external things to deal with. And so when you're dealing with these things, you're going to have to realize you're going to have something stronger than strategy to keep you through those hard moments. And this next point is this: you have to have a story. So once you've created your strategy, that's your first base. But the more important base is you need to actually have a story that is going to get you to that why. So when you hear story, just think of the reason why you need to accomplish this goal. And there has to be a reason why you need to accomplish it. One of the things that I know Tony says, and something that's impacted me in the way that I think, is it has to be more painful for you to continue going down the path you're on than it is to make the change you're trying to make. So for instance, if you're making $50,000 a year right now, it has to be more painful for you to live making $50,000 a year than it is the effort it's going to require for you to make $100,000. And if it's more painful for you to live at a $50,000 income versus a $100,000 income, guess what? You're going to find a way to get to the $100,000 income. So this is when it starts to get more into your mindset. And sales, as anyone knows, is more of a mind game than anything. The strategies, the pitch, the process, the service, all this is important. But the mindset is the most important part of the game. And so having your story and creating pain points in your life to where it is more painful to continue down this path I'm on than making the change that I need to. Because in the end, if it's not painful enough, you're going to just continue moving on in that same habit and that same rut that you're staying in, because it's not painful enough to change, and it's more painful to change. Change is a painful thing, and it sucks during the beginning especially. And so you're not going to want to make any changes if you're not really, really uncomfortable. So you have to get to a point where you're so uncomfortable, you're not willing to stand another minute in this current state that you're in. You're going to change your story. And what Tony always says, you're going to change your story, you're going to change your life. And that's what you need to do. And if you don't like the story you're living, then change it. Change whatever it is that you're not super happy about, and you're going to definitely hit those goals. So going back to our sales-related goal, your goal is to make $100,000 this summer. You have your strategies in place. The story behind why you need to do this is, I refuse to live below what I know I'm capable of making, and there's a standard of life that I want to live. I want to have freedom to be able to travel. I want to have freedom to be with my family. I want to be able to spend money and not have to worry about if I'm going to be able to make my bill at the end of the month. There's just certain things that you need to, in my mind, that my story would be that is, I refuse to live below that standard. I am more than capable of living above that. I can at least do $100,000, and from there I can grow and hit more and higher and more challenging goals, you could say. So that is your story. Create something that's going to make it so you're super motivated to change your life. Make it so you don't want to stay another day living the way you're living. And write down whatever it is that's going to motivate you, the reason why you're doing this. What is the reason for your motivation? Write it down, and that can be your story. So when you're going through the hard times, you're actually going to be motivated to keep grinding through it and stick to your strategy that you made before. And the last step to it all is, once you have your story, your strategy, you have your story, it's really hard to follow along with your strategy and to live according to the story that you know you're capable of living if you're not in a good state. And that's the third S, state. And so when I say state, I think of it as this. It's your physical, your mental, and your emotional state of being. And so in order to accomplish your goals, in order to make change in your life, you have to be in a good mental, physical, and emotional state. And so the way you can go about doing that, and the way that Tony's all about it, he's all about physical movement through exercise, and not just exercise, but just getting your body into a peak state. And he does it through jumping. He does it through waving his, yelling and screaming and getting his voice and body all excited. Because once you hype up your mind and your body through your actions, your physical actions, you're in a peak state to where you're able to actually accomplish and hit the goals in your story and in your strategy. It's like, I want to make $100,000 because that's what I'm capable of. I need to make this change in my life, otherwise I'm going to be living way below my potential. Great story. But if your state is one that's down, that's sad, that you just got rejected 5 different times and you're just hating your life right now, you're not going to accomplish your goal. You're going to quit early, or you're not going to at least put in the effort that you need to in order to hit your goal. So if you're noticing that your state doesn't match your story, change your state. Start moving your body. Start doing something. Change something so that way your mind, your emotions, and your physical appearance, your body language is positive, it's upbeat, it's excited, and do whatever it takes. A lot of times, if it requires a little break, take 5 minutes. Just sit down, just kind of breathe, get it all out, but then get back right at and do it again. For other people, it's the physical state, your state of being is just not letting anything get into your head and just realizing that rejection is just part of the game and you're not going to let it bother you. You're just going to keep knocking doors until finally you find the one that says yes. And eventually that's what will happen. But sometimes you need to change things up in order to get into a good state of being. So find the things that'll help you get to that point where you can blow through whatever objections and hard times you're going through. So you're in a good, positive peak state so you can live according to the story and the strategies that you've set. And that right there, you guys, are your 3 tips to creating change and to hitting your goals for this year. Whatever your sales goals are, is you need to have your strategies in place, how you're going to do it, your story, the reason why you need to make these changes in your life, and then your state of being, how you're going to get your physical, emotional, and mental state at a peak state, and especially have strategies in place for when you are going to be in those likely to be feeling down, how you're going to change it immediately to go back into a good positive state. So that way you can accomplish your goals. And those are my 3 tips for you guys today. If you enjoyed today, I hope that you share, like. That's the best way to get these podcasts to grow. And I like to always say this, but if you are a sales rep who is currently selling or looking to get into door-to-door sales and is maybe not happy with your company that you're working with, check out Rio Marketing. We're an awesome team and looking to hire reps who have grind, who have commitment, who want to take their sales skills to the next level. And I'm confident we'll be able to help you get there. So check us out at Rio Marketing Sales on Instagram and also on our website, try D2D Sales.com. Till our next channel, until our next show. Thanks, guys.